Hello, everybody. We're just gonna get right to it. We're not gonna waste any time with me yapping. We're gonna try to finish up the intro tonight, and if we do have enough time, we'll probably start section 1. So let's get right to it. Okay. So yesterday, before I stopped streaming, there's something terrifying about being born into a role you never asked for. Before you learn to speak or make a choice, your life has already been mapped out for you. We like to think we own who we are, and our identity is built as we grow. But for some people, identity isn't something you get to build. It's like fate built a cage that you're stuck in. It's like fate built a cage that you are stuck in. Look at Shiki Tohno. On first impressions, he looks like a quiet person who has a health impairment. He gets to go to school, make friends, and somewhat tries to figure out who he wants to be. I might adjust that. I just don't like the way it sounds right now, so we might adjust that. Don't drink unless you're quite literally old. Cherish your liver. Okay. He gets to go to school, make friends, and someone tries to figure out what he wants to be. But sleeping under all that, sleeping under all that is something much darker. We're not gonna go too over dramatic with this, but sleeping under that is something much darker. Sleeping under all that is something much darker. A suppressed. I might be pushing it. I might be pushing it a little bit, but we'll see. A suppressed cold-blooded instinct. A suppressed cold-blooded instinct that carries his original name, Nanaya. So I decided what the next one's going to be after I'm done with this, because this is going to get released probably in 10 days. I gotta probably do a Yumi Neko one. Then after that, I'll double back to Tight Moon again. I'm probably going to end up redoing the MASH one I did a couple years ago. Or a year or so ago. We'll see. But that's probably what I'm going to end up doing. Sleeping on all that is something much darker. A suppressed, cold-blooded instinct that carries his original name, Nanaya. Alright. Nanaya isn't some cold... Nanaya isn't some cold... No, Nanaya isn't some evil alter ego. I guarantee you by the end of this stream, I'm gonna be piss drunk wasted. Because this Sunhani is hitting the spot already. Nanaya isn't some evil alter ego. Or some separate guy. Some separate... Nanaya isn't some evil alter ego, some separate guy living in his head. We can briefly introduce the massacre, but we won't go into too much detail later on. I'm gonna try to finish this in like 30 minutes because I do got some IRL stuff I gotta take care of. I'll do this IRL, Gotta do sprite animation stuff. If I have enough time later, I'll come back and do secondary streams. Naya is some evil alter ego, some separate guy living in his head. He is. He's what's left. No, because it's better to say child here, not person. He's what's left of a child whose entire family was slaughtered. Wiped out, slaughtered. Again, I'm still gonna try to tone it down on the being super over dramatic. He's what's left of a child whose entire family was slaughtered in a single night. All right, let's see what we got so far. So, receiving under all that is something much darker, a suppressed, cold-blooded instinct that carries its original name, Nanaya. Nanaya isn't some evil alter ego or some separate guy living in his head. I might change that. We'll see. He's what's left of a child whose entire family was slaughtered in a single night. All right, let's see if I butcher Aki's dad's name. Makahisa Tohno. Makahisa Tohno. Makahisa Tohno. Okay. I'm totally gonna misspell this. Tamaki Hisa, I believe. Maki Hisa. I'm gonna have to double back and look at spell check later with this one. When Maki Hisa Tohno. We should mention Coma too. No, he orchestrated it. Not Tohno. He orchestrated it, and Coma was quite literally the guy going in as well. But Maki Hisa Tohno. Maki Hisa Tohno ordered the Nanaya clan to be wiped out. And this is like super ironic too. The only reason why he survives is he literally had the same name as Maki Hisa Tohno's son, Shiki. There's a lot of Shiki, there's 3 Shikis running around. We're not gonna fine. We'll count both Ryogi's personas. All right. We can do a little pause there. Alright, well, Maki Hisa Tohno ordered the Nanaya clan to be wiped out. Only a child, Shiki Nanaya, survived. He was spared on a whim because he shared the same name as Makisa's Tohno's own son, Shiki. And again, irony and circumstance with that one. I don't want to go into too much detail on the intro with that though. We can wait. Yeah. Would be taken in. Would be taken in. Again, I'm not gonna mention Coma because yeah, Coma played a crucial role in that raid, but it was all under Makihisa Tohno's orders for Nanaya Clan to get wiped out. It's ironic because Nanaya's dad. This could all have been avoided. Well, I'm not condoning finishing the job, but Nanaya's dad did encounter Coma when he was a kid. Didn't finish the job, but that's on him. That's on him. Who would have known? Okay, he would be taken in and raised as a Tohno. I do want to tone down. I don't want to be so super dramatic with this shit, though. Alright, let's read what we got, and we'll go from there. There's something terrifying about being born into a role you never asked for. Before you learn to speak or make a choice, your life has already been mapped out for you. We like to think we own who we are, that our identity is built as we grow, but for some people, identity isn't what you get to build. It's like fate builds a cage that you're stuck in. Look at Shiki Tohno. On first impressions, he looks like a quiet person who has a health impairment. He gets to go to school, make friends, and someone tries to figure out what he wants to be. But sleeping under all that is something much darker, a suppressed, cold-blooded instinct that carries his original name, Nanaya. Nanaya isn't some evil alter ego or some separate guy living in his head. He's what's left of a child whose entire family was slaughtered in a single night. When Makihisa Tohno ordered the Nanaya clan to be wiped out, only a child, Shiki Nanaya, survived. He was spared on a whim because he shared the same name as Makihisa Tohno's own son, Shiki. He would be taken in and raised as a Tohno. Pretty straightforward. Yeah, I think that's good. I don't think we need to do anything else. Let's carry on. We're Tohno. Somewhat normal. This man's life is not normal. This man's life is not normal at all. Where Tohno gets to walk around and live a somewhat normal life. When Tohno gets to walk around and live a somewhat normal life, where Tohno gets to walk around and live a somewhat normal life, where Tohno gets to walk around and live a somewhat similar life. It's fine. Because again, this man's life is not normal, but we're from after the hospital and going to Miyako's house, it was relatively normal for him. Until Akia called him back, then all hell just breaks loose. The Nanaya side. The Nanaya side. only gets come out when Tohno is about to die. It's about to die. I'm gonna say a take. Or when his, I want to say killer instinct takes over. I want to say that. Because as we've seen, with what happened to Arcade in the alleyway, yeah, that man knew exactly what he was doing. But when his killer instinct takes over, when Tohno gets to live, where Tohno gets to walk around and live a somewhat normal life, the Nanaya side only gets to come out when Tohno is about to die, or when his killer instinct takes over. I could say suppressed. Suppressed sounds cooler. We'll say his killer instinct, because it already says suppressed already. Okay. You really want to be cute about it, Nanaya literally just doesn't get to live a life. What time is it? Alright. So look, another 10 minutes? Yeah, we'll do like another 10 minutes. He doesn't get to live a life. He doesn't get to live a life. He doesn't get to live a life. In a sense, he only exists. He only exists when violence requires him to. Isn't that? Somehow, I am getting tipsy because this soon hottie is wild, and we only get it for like $3, so that's very dangerous. It's the weekend, so I'm allowed to crash out and have fun. He doesn't get to live a life, in a sense. He only exists when violence requires him to. Example being Melty. And when Tsukihime and when the events of Tsukihime and Melty Blood. Speaking of Melty Blood, I haven't touched Lumina in so long. It's just such a weird game. It really is. We can take a little break. I'll yap for like a second. It's weird because I played Vanilla Akia since the beginning. In Actress Again, I primarily played half. I can mess around with full, and for shits and giggles, I can play Crescent. I wasn't cool with Crescent, but for the most part, I played half Akia. I can play Seifuku, F Seifuku. F Seifuku is relatively pretty brain dead. Then Lumina comes out. Well, as we know, if you played Akia in the past, she's an alright character, but she's not your Vishions or your Roas or what have you. She can get lamed out pretty fast, depending. Then Lumina comes out, then you get Akia, of course, but you get Seifuku Akia, primarily F Seifuku. And I'm like, that's weird. Yeah, she's relatively good. something weird in the universe happened, and I said, "Fuck it, I can't do this no more. I'm just gonna play. I'm just gonna play Wark and just go to town because I actually sub F Wark." Damn, Melty Blood, good times. But yeah, if someone tells me, "Hey, you want to play Lumina?" No, I'd rather play Actress again, but I'll humor people in Lumina. As for Nanya, I can play half and I can play full. Present is Present's hilarious, but I primarily played full just for the memes. Because who doesn't love Wadine? Alright, back to this. Anyway, and when the events of Tsukihime and Melty Blood pulls that instinct out. The thing about Nadia, when he comes out, things get done. He leaves an impact, specifically with what happened with Park Wade, what happened with Nero, and whenever he comes out in, well, whatever, it's kind of sort of Tatsuri Nadia, but it's, we can assume that that's what's happening when he actually just comes out, when he takes over Tohno. Pulls that instinct out of Tohno's subconscious. Either way, it's gonna get hyped. Let's totally butcher the spelling of subconscious. Oh yeah, of course I butchered it because my curse of not being able to spell when I stream happens. And when the events of Tsukihime and Melty pulls that instinct out of Tohno's subconscious and turns him into let's be a little dramatic here. Fuck it, we're gonna be dramatic. And when the events of Tsukihime and Melty Blood pulls the instinct out of Tohno's subconscious and turns him into a phantom walking the streets of Makasi Town. This is such a run-on. Misaki Town. We see the full extent of the tragedy. And at this point, Misaki Town is quite literally a city. It's so massive that its scale always changes, but it's technically a town. Walking through the streets of Misaki Town, we see the extent of the tragedy. The extent of the tragedy. He isn't frightening because he's a killer. He's frightening because he never got a choice to be anything else. Or something along those lines. He isn't frightening. And of course, against spell. Because he is a killer. He is yeah. He's frightening. Killing is the only role he has. It's the only role he was ever given. Okay. And again, I don't want to go stupidly into detail about this. My intros are generally just always like one page, but let's see what time is it. All right, we can do about 5 more minutes. So let's read this whole thing over again because I haven't even gotten to the quote yet. I still gotta start putting that in soon. There's something terrifying about being born into a role you never asked for. Before you learn to speak or make a choice, your life has already been mapped out for you. We like to think we own who we are, and our identity is built as we grow. But for some people, identity isn't what you get to build. It's like fate built a cage that you're stuck in. Look at Shiki Tohno. On first impressions, he looks like a quiet person who has a health impairment. He gets to go to school, make friends, and someone tries to figure out what he wants to be. But sleeping under all of that is something much darker. A suppressed, cold-blooded instinct that carries his original name Nanaya. Nanaya isn't some evil alter ego or some separate guy living in his head. He's what's left of a child whose entire family was slaughtered in a single night. When Makihisa Tohno ordered the Nanaya clan to be wiped out, only a child, Shiki Nanaya, survived. He was spared on a whim because he shared the same name as Makihisa Tohno's own son, Shiki. We gotta do a cute pause right there. He would be taken in and raised as a Tohno, where Tohno gets to walk around and live a somewhat normal life. The Nanaya side only comes out when Tohno is about to die or when his killer instinct takes over. He doesn't get to live a life. We'll say Nanaya instinct. There we go. That's better. When his Nanaya instinct takes over, he doesn't get to live a life. In a sense, he only exists when violence requires him to. And when the events of Tsukihime and Melty pulls that instinct out of Tohno's subconscious and turns him. I'm being so dramatic with this. Into a phantom walking through the streets of Masuki Town. We see the extent of the tragedy. We'll say full extent. He isn't frightened because he's a killer. He is frightened because killing is the only role he was ever given. I think we're good. I think we're good. So let's do like another passage. We'll do another couple of sentences, then we'll go on to the quote. And we'll do the quote tomorrow because I'm kind of actually running out of time. I want to do this, take a break. I have to do my sprite animation stuff. If I'm not doing anything later tonight, I'll come back and I'll do the run back with this. But if not, bear with me tomorrow. A buddy of mine wants me to play Grand Blue Fantasy Green Link, which is good because I can get some content for future lore stuff, but I just haven't had the time. IRL work has just gotten me too busy. I got promoted in the military and I gotta do more things that my rank requires me to do. So that's why I haven't been having a lot of time. But besides that, let's carry on. So like a couple more sentences and we'll wrap it up. It's about to be 27 minutes. We'll finish up at like 30 something minutes. Okay. So we see the full extent of the tragedy. He isn't frightened because he's a killer. He's frightened because killing is the only role he was ever given. So, in the world, in the shared universe of Tsukihime, no, we can't say universe. In the shared world of Tsukihime and Melty Blood, I'm being very cheeky with this. Melty Blood. This happens to a lot of people. Looking at you, Shion. This happens to almost everyone. Yeah, almost everyone. I'll let people decide. Since I am going to be doing MASH probably for the next one, let me know if you want me to do more Melty Blood people. Not specifically Nasuverse entirely. My area expertise is most definitely in Tsukihime, Melty Blood, Fate to a certain extent, but I haven't been keeping up. The Fate is just too much shit happening in Fate these days. And Karen Okyogai. But if you want me to do more specific Tsukihime and Melty Blood stuff, I can do that. But I take a request. But I usually just think about something on a whim and just roll with it. In the shared world of Tsukihime and Melty, this happens to almost everyone. In this world, in this world, in this world, people don't get to really be human that much. Case in point being, Akiya is a demon, sort of. Akia's a demon. Koma's quite literally the same thing as Akia. The same family. Tohno descended from a clan of demon hunters. CL is quite literally immortal enforcer of the church while Rolla is around. Rolla is busted because of shenanigans. Arkwade is... I can't even think right now. I'm too wasted. And pretty much what I'm getting at, no one is normal in this world. Well, in Masaki, no one is normal. You have there are ancient bloodlines, ancient bloodlines, demonic entities, vampires, sure, vampires, immortal. We're being cute. Immortal executioners. If I can actually spell. And I cannot spell. And to be honest, if I can yap for like a second, I honestly feel that besides everything we've dealt with, the demonic entities, the vampires, true ancestors, all that shit, I feel Tatsuri is probably one of the scariest shits imaginable because people like to yap, people like to spread rumors. Tatsuri that's quite literally what Tatsuri is powered off of. Oh, you have a rumor of someone going around shanking the shit out of people at night? You got Nanaya. Or worse, you got Wark going around like completely destroying everything. It's a very crazy entity, and if we can be cute about it, think about how the world of Yumineko is. You have a rumor of a witch killing people. Wallachia, if he was put in that verse, would have the time of his life. That's my honest opinion, that Tatsuri is extremely scary and busted because people power it up. Because people can't stop talking. Alright. So just to continue off of it, oh geez, I forgot R. There are ancient bloodlines, demonic entities, vampires, immortal executioners of the church, and beings that defy reality. So, they get used as tools, CL's case. They get used as tools cursed by the bloodline Shion. And crushed expectations they came. And crushed by expectations. Alright. Okie dokie. I think that's pretty much good. So, let's see. Let's read everything that we read tonight. That we typed tonight. A lot. It's a lot of stuff. Alright. I think we started at butts. Well, sleeping under all that, something much darker. A suppressed, cold-blooded instinct that carries his original name, Nanaya. Nanaya isn't some evil alter ego or some separate guy living in his head. He's what's left of a child whose entire family was slaughtered in a single night. When Makihisa Tohno ordered the Nanaya clan to be wiped out, only a child, Shiki Nanaya, survived. He was spared on a whim because he shared the same name as Makihisa Tohno's own son, Shiki. He would be taken in and raised as a Tohno, where Tohno gets to walk around and live a somewhat normal life. The Nanaya side only gets to come out when Tohno's about to die or when his Nanaya instinct takes over. He doesn't get to live a life. In a sense, he only exists when violence requires him to. And when the events of Tsukihime and Melty pulls that instinct out of Tohno's subconscious and turns him into a phantom walking through the streets of Masaki Town. I'm gonna totally fix that because that's a lot of shit to read. Okay. And when the events of Tsukihime and Melty pulls that instinct out of Tohno's subconscious, we're gonna fix that right now. Alright. And when the events of Tsukihime and Melty pulls that instinct out of Tohno's subconscious, it turns him into a phantom walking through the streets of Masaki Town. I gotta totally rephrase that whole entire shit right there. It turns him into a phantom walking the streets of Masaki Town. You then witness Alright, let's do this again. And when the events of Tsukihime and Melty Blood pulls the instinct out of Tohno's subconscious, it turns him into a phantom walking through, if I can actually spell, the streets of Masaki Town. We then witness the full extent of the tragedy. He isn't frightened because he's a killer. He's frightened because killing is the only role he was ever given. In the shared world of Tsukihime and Melty Blood, this happens to almost everyone. In this world, people don't get to be human that much. There are ancient bloodlines, demonic entities, vampires, immortal executioners of the church, and beings that defy reality walking around, coexisting with society. In this world, people don't get to be human that much. There are ancient bloodlines, demonic entities, vampires, immortal executioners of the church, and beings that defy reality coexisting with society. And I forgot, they are used as tools, crushed by their bloodlines, and crushed by expectations they can't control. Alright, there's a lot of stuff we did. We're good. I think we're pretty much golden to start. We'll introduce the James Baldwin quote next stream, then we'll do like a transitionary sentence into section 1, then we finally get started from there. My introductions are generally really long because we gotta set the pace of the entire narrative, and I think we're doing a good job of it. But besides that, I think we're good. If I have enough time later, which I probably won't, I'll try to do a secondary stream because I did this, take a break, sprite animation stuff for my other projects. I'll see if I have to do Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. If not, I'll probably come back and I'll do this again. But besides that, if I don't, I'll see y'all tomorrow. Enjoy the VOD and we'll talk later. And of course, if there's any suggestions, just let me know. And I think that's pretty much it. I'll see y'all later. Bye-bye.